The biggest obstacle to school improvement is poor leadership and all the things that create poor leadership. You will get poor leadership if leaders are not prepared properly for the job, if the wrong kinds of leaders are coming into the job, leaders who want to make a quick development in their career, leaders who are moving on to something else, leaders who are eager to be a superintendent before they become an effective principal, leaders perhaps who've not even come from education and don't know what the work feels like at its core. So leaders who aren't really well prepared, leaders who have no coaching or mentoring available to them, leaders who are isolated. They may be in small schools, or they may be in districts that actually like silos and put principals in different silos so they can't really learn from each other. So leaders who are isolated, I think, have a real struggle with school improvement, and we've done a lot of research on school networks that shows us leaders don't already know how to network. They have to learn how to do this and be coached and mentored to be able to do it effectively. Leaders who are distracted, leaders who have many change agendas imposed on them by the district at one level, by the state at another level, by the federal government at a third level, with reforms that are constantly changing, moving in different directions and often in cross currents with each other. And particularly for new leaders, this is incredibly hard to deal with, to maintain a sense of focus and direction. And finally, leaders who turn over too quickly, leaders who don't stay long enough in their school. Our work on leadership succession is pretty clear on sustainable leadership, that to leave a lasting legacy within your school, you really have to stay probably 4 or 5 years in order to build the trust, to develop the relationships, and to create the capacity in people to continue what it is you started with them long after you've gone. The first thing that a leader has to do is not to expect trust from other people, but to model trust themselves, even if initially people look as if they may not completely deserve it. And if once you start investing trust, people will begin to repay it. If you lend books to people before they give them you back, you lend them again and you lend them again. It's a bit like raising adolescents. So you give trust even before necessarily it's been earned. Some people believe that people have to earn trust first, and then you give them trust. It actually in leadership works the other way around. So the first is really having a vision, is modeling it, and then it takes time. It takes a lot of time with a lot of small accumulated actions rather than really big, grandiose speeches and presentations. We actually did some research on the emotions of teaching and leadership. And it was by the title, which is completely ungoogleable, called Teaching and Betrayal. And we looked at the 3 things that cause senses of betrayal amongst teachers in their interactions with administrators. And the first was competence betrayal. So in other words, people feel that teachers, their colleagues, the people who work for them, they're not competent. They can't do the job. The second was confidence betrayal, and this is really the feeling that they're not trying hard enough, they're not making an effort. These are the 2 most common imputations of betrayal. People don't try, people are lazy, or people don't know they can't do the job. What we found was that actually the greatest cause of senses of betrayal was communication betrayal. And communication betrayal is we don't know the people, we don't understand them, we don't take the time to be with them, we don't discuss and communicate effectively with them. And if we are not communicating well, listening well, understanding well, then we will always make false and bad and uncharitable imputations to the people who appear to be letting us down.